This avatar video will assess your knowledge, skills and abilities pertaining to the health coaching curriculum of POM 2.
Hello Mrs. Doe. My name is Joey. I am a student and health coach at the Sophie Davis School of Biomedical Education. How are you today?
I am well, Joey. Thank you.
Mrs. Doe, as your health coach, I must make you aware that your personal information is confidential and will only be discussed with your physician.
Why, thank you, Joey.
Mrs. Doe, having reviewed your wellness assessment, you've indicated exercise and nutrition are of high priority to you. Is it okay if we discuss this?
Certainly.
You are meeting a patient for the first time. List 5 behaviors you would try to engage that promote rapport and demonstrate empathy. Watch the following vignette, which is a series of statements related to a behavior change goal. 1. Record the potential reflective statement for each of the client's statements. 2. For each statement, what stage of change is indicated? 3. For each stage of change, how would you want to respond after your reflective statement? 4. Record a reflective statement that is indicative of the client's effect.
They are indeed a high priority for me. My doctor said my numbers are a little high, and if I exercise and improve my diet, I might not have to take medication to improve my numbers.
Record the potential reflective statement for each of the client's statements. For each statement, what stage of change is indicated? For each stage of change, how would you want to respond after each reflective statement?
Sure. She said my blood pressure is a little high, my cholesterol is high as well as my sugar level. Something about pre-diabetes but not yet diabetes. She also said I should lose a bit of weight as that would help reduce my numbers.
For each stage of change, how would you want to respond after each reflective statement?
Thank you for sharing, Mrs. Doe. Out of curiosity, what do you understand about the numbers your doctor is talking about when he says reduce your numbers?
Other than understanding that I could afford to lose some weight, I really don't know much about those numbers. I do know that I don't want to take meds.
Identify an example of change talk from the previous vignette.
Mrs. Doe, would some pamphlets designed to help you better understand the importance of knowing your numbers be helpful to you? Many of the individuals I coach find them to be very helpful.
That would be very helpful. I'll read them on my way home on the subway. I'll also share it with my family. Some of them have high blood pressure and diabetes.
What a great way to start improving your health. Knowledge is power. Would you be willing to discuss what you learned from the pamphlets during your follow-up visit?
Provide the name of the technique just demonstrated in the preceding vignette.
Thank you. Yes, I am willing to discuss what I will have learned.
Mrs. Doe, I understand that you don't want to take meds and that you would like to improve your overall health by modifying your diet and exercising. Did I understand you correctly?
Yes.
That's a great goal. Mrs. Doe, some people find it useful to describe what they do want as far as their health is concerned. Would you be willing to describe that for me?
Joey, the health coach, asked Mrs. Doe to describe what she wants for her health. What health coaching tool did Joey utilize?
Heavens to Murgatroyd. All of that is overwhelming. I never thought about it like that before. I just don't know where to begin.
Mrs. Doe, It seems that the thought of describing what you want as far as changing how you eat and physical activity is mind-blowing.
It is indeed.
Perhaps you can think of a time when you felt most vibrant and healthy. What were you eating? What type of physical activity were you engaging in?
I was most healthy when I was living at home with my parents. My mother made everything from scratch. There wasn't a lot of junk food in the house because we couldn't afford it.
So there wasn't a lot of junk food. What do you mean by junk food?
Prepared foods like TV dinners, box cereal, Twinkies, ringdings. My parents couldn't afford it. So after school for snack we ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, banana sandwiches, nuts, carrots, celery, cucumber and tomato salad, cabbage, radishes, apples and oranges. There was rarely any candy in the house. My mom would often say eat God's candy. She considered fruit and nuts God's candy. There was no money to buy soda or soft drinks, so we drank plenty of water or Mom made iced tea. Come to think of it, I didn't develop my cozy relationship with eating packaged foods and ordering from Grubhub until I was an adult.
It sounds like your mom instilled some really good habits as far as eating healthfully is concerned. You learned how to eat healthfully and how to prepare food from scratch. Did I hear you correctly, Mrs. Doe?
Yes, I am actually a good cook. It just takes so long to prepare a meal from scratch. You have to wash the vegetables, chop the vegetables. It takes so much time. I never enjoyed the preparation part as a child, and that hasn't changed much, but I want to be healthy. I find when I purchase fresh vegetables with the intention of cooking them, I wind up wasting them. It's easier to order through Grubhub.
It sounds like on the one hand you want to improve your health by changing your diet in order to improve your numbers, but on the other hand the thought of the time you must spend to prepare a healthy meal is overwhelming.
Lordy, yes. But I have to do something. I just can't sit here on the fence.
Well, Mrs. Doe, what are the advantages of continuing to use the strategy of purchasing prepared food and using the services of Grubhub as a healthy eating approach?
Well, it certainly is convenient. I wouldn't say that it is the best healthy eating strategy.
What would you say are the advantages of not using as a healthy eating strategy the services of Grubhub or purchasing prepared meals?
I would certainly have more money. 2. I'd likely lose a few pounds, as sometimes I just don't know the true ingredients of the prepared meals I purchase or order through Grubhub.
Mrs. Doe, do you think there are disadvantages of remaining on the fence?
Well, when I see how much money I spend on prepared meals and Grubhub, I do feel it's sort of wasteful. And sometimes I don't even enjoy some of the meals that I order.
Mrs. Doe, how would not staying on the fence be a disadvantage to you?
Well, Joey, if I am not purchasing prepared food or ordering from Grubhub, I'll have to find another strategy to feed myself.
After watching the previous vignette, name the patient's relationship with the desired change.